All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Happy New Year. In this video, we're going to talk about the welterweight division and a message Yordenis Ugas had for Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford fans, which was basically, stop crying. I already beat your boy Terence Crawford before, and I'll do it again after I beat ERROLS Spence. Obviously paraphrasing, but let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before I get into the subject matter of the video though, please make sure hit the like button, watch the video all the way to the end. Also share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can get notified of when we release more videos. All right, man, fun conversation. But in 2022 is going to be, I'm telling you, this is going to be the year of the welterweights. Everything we have been looking at over the last 3 years is coming to a head. And it's coming to a head in 2022. We are going to get, this is my prediction, we are going to get an undisputed welterweight champion. There's a lot of talk from a lot of people about who's ducking who and who's doing what. But everything, unlike in 2021, 2020, 2019, everything is lined up to get it done in 2 fights. Now, Yordenis Ugas took to Twitter and responded to and this is something I think is important, because when I say that it's headed to undisputed, I'm telling you, ain't no guarantee who that undisputed person is going to be. Yordenis Ugas is somebody that is thought of almost as an afterthought and is being massively disrespected by people who claim they support Terence Crawford by acting as if Errol Spence Jr. is running and taking some really easy route to becoming a 3-belt champion by fighting Yordenis Ugas. This is a Yordenis Ugas who just came and beat the brakes off of Manny Pacquiao to retain his WBA Super WBA welterweight championship. It's not super welterweight, but the super 147-pound championship. He's a guy that a lot of people think beat Sean Porter. He's somebody that did beat the brakes off of Omar Figueroa and beat a lot of other dudes in that welterweight division, and is somebody that is a unique talent in the division, and people that are just really underestimating this guy. And one of the things he said is, look, man, you guys, and this is what Yordenis Ugas said, and basically, and again, paraphrasing, do not speak Spanish. He says, look, man, you guys are acting like, this guy's not fighting a real champion in me, right? And he also says that, look, after he beats Errol Spence Jr., that he's going to fight Terence Crawford. And one thing that people should understand is that Yordenis Ugas is very confident that he can beat Terence Crawford, because Yordenis Ugas has already beaten Terence Crawford in the amateurs. At least that's what I've heard. That's what, the word on the street is. I've heard it by enough people to believe that that's true, that Yordenis Ugas beat him in the amateurs. So, and I know people are going to say in the comment section that the amateurs are not the same thing as the pros. However, when you're looking at a guy like Yordenis Ugas, I'm telling you, the thing that is really unique about him is that he is a Cuban fighter. And if you're familiar with the Cuban system of boxing, they fight a lot of southpaws, because they, in their training schools, switch most of their fighters. Even if they're born as an orthodox fighter, they switch them into the southpaw so that they can get an advantage in international competition, right? Because most orthodox fighters do not fight. Most orthodox fighters are not used to fighting southpaws, and most southpaws are used to fighting orthodox fighters or right-handed fighters. So those guys that are from Cuba, like guys like Luis Ortiz, guys like Guillermo Rigondeaux, fight in the southpaw stance. But the guys that are orthodox, who fight in the orthodox stance out of Cuba, like Yordenis Ugas, get used to fighting a lot of southpaws. When he fights Terence Crawford, he would be fighting a guy that is basically a southpaw. So many people keep talking about Terence Crawford as somebody that can fight orthodox and somebody that can fight southpaw. If you look at Terence Crawford's fights, the majority of the time that he is fighting, he is spinning in the southpaw stance. He comes out in the orthodox stance for a while. And honestly, when he's done that over the last several fights from the orthodox stance, he's not looked like he has not looked dominant in the orthodox stance. He looks dominant against the orthodox fighters that he's fighting when he switches to the southpaw stance. That is not going to be an advantage over Errol Spence Jr. or over Yordenis Ugas because one, Yordenis Ugas, again, is somebody that is used to fighting southpaws and literally just showed it against Manny Pacquiao. And Errol Spence Jr. himself is a southpaw. So switching for Terence Crawford makes it a southpaw and a southpaw matchup, man. But and again, when it comes to Errol Spence Jr., Errol Spence Jr. is not guaranteed to win this fight with Yordenis Ugas, man. Yordenis Ugas is a very, very solid fighter. I think at this point in time, where he is in his career with the amount of discipline that he has, the fact that he's now beaten Manny Pacquiao on a big stage. So no matter how big the fight is with Errol Spence Jr., he's not going to get nervous. He's not going to be overwhelmed. He's a very, very disciplined fighter, always on or at near weight, right? He is going to be a tough matchup for Errol Spence Jr. And again, just like I said with Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr.'s southpaw advantage with Yordenis Ugas is pretty much neutralized because of the amount of experience he has with those southpaws. People are really underestimating and doing a disservice to the conversation that we have in the welterweight division when you blow off Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas is a serious challenge to Errol Spence, besides just the fact that anytime you're going for 3 belts and you're fighting another champion, that should count in people's minds. And also, Errol Spence Jr. has said the entire time what he was going to do. He said he was cleaning up his side of the street, and then after that, he was going to go see Terence Crawford over there for the WBO, right? So Terence Crawford, if I was a Terence Crawford fan, I'd be like, man, Terence Crawford is sitting over there in the catbird seat because really he doesn't have much to do. That 3-belt championship is going to come to him any way it cuts it. It's either going to come from Yordenis Ugas or it's going to come from Errol Spence Jr. But people that are playing all this massive amount of disrespect to Yordenis Ugas and Errol Spence Jr. over this fight are just dead wrong. And I like the stance that Yordenis Ugas took on it. Now, Terence Crawford himself, I do believe that, because this was maybe about a week ago, referred to people as, there's a lot of puppets out here. I see that I got to be the puppet master. I do believe that was in response to what Yordenis Ugas had said earlier. Dude, that's not being a puppet. Yordenis Ugas ain't being a puppet. Yordenis Ugas is saying, look, man, you guys, first of all, you messing with my money by trying to claim that you want to boycott a fight just because I'm in it. The people that are calling for a boycott of this fight are absolutely, to me, make absolutely no sense, man. This is a good fight that if Terence Crawford was not in the equation, everybody would be saying, man, this is a good fight. Errol Spence Jr. is coming off of an car accident and coming off of a retina injury against a guy that just beat Manny Pacquiao convincingly. How could you not want to see this fight unless you're just out there trying to just hate on Errol Spence and trying to stomp down on what the dude is doing? But I'm telling you, there is a chance that Yordenis Ugas can come through that Errol Spence Jr. fight successfully, and there's a chance that Yordenis Ugas can come through that Terence Crawford fight successfully, man. I wouldn't do what everybody's doing and overlook him and treat him like this guy just is not important, man. Otherwise, man, you'll be in a situation where your fighter, or at least I don't believe the fighters are doing that. If the fighters are doing that, then shoot, they definitely can be in trouble with a guy like Yordenis Ugas. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.